This is Solo in the Shop, episode 20. On today's episode, I want to give you a shop update and a website/business update, things that are going on with me, just as a get to know you kind of episode. Let's dive in. Whether you are a hobbyist, weekend warrior, making commissions for friends and family, or already a full-time maker, if you are solo in your shop, this is the show for you. I'm Ronald Lowe's, the host of Solo in the Shop, a woodworking podcast discussing everything from current projects, tools and techniques, decisions around running a small business, and much more. So if you frequently find yourself alone and covered in sawdust, follow my journey and we can be solo in the shop together. So I had recorded an episode that was going to be today's episode, and it was all about SEO and getting found on the web. And I started to look at editing that down, making it into a real show, and I just pulled the plug. I was like, you know what? This isn't very wood choppy. It's very technical, and it's definitely something I'm interested in, but not necessarily all woodworkers. I may retool it at some point, but I needed to get an episode out, and I'm actually recording this on July 17th, and this episode is due to come out on July 17th. So I'm reminded of the old Memorex audio cassette tape commercials. Don't know if everyone remembers those, but their tagline was, "Is it live or is it Memorex?" And it was supposed to be, the recording quality is so good that you can't tell whether it's live or it's a recording of something live. And that's how today's podcast is. It is so close to live. Hoping to power through this, give you a quick update, and get it out there today. So this will be as close to a live update on what's going on with me as I can probably get done in a podcast format. So last week I delivered finally the 6x6 square pedestal table. That thing was super heavy. Everything went great eventually, but I was really disappointed that earlier in the week, I had gotten a commitment from a local new moving company that was going to come out and help me with the delivery. And as early as 36 hours before delivery, we had confirmed a meetup time. They were going to come to the shop, help me load it up, drive over to the client's house with me and help bring it in and set it up. And we had established price. They were bringing 3 guys. They didn't show. So disappointing. And for someone like me who really values the customer service experience, it made me look really bad. And, I think the customer was fine with it. They understood, but it's just not how I want to do business. I ended up getting back on Facebook on my local group and reached out to some people who had said they would help in a pinch. And to their credit, they showed up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon and rocked it. We got it done. My neighbors came over. My neighbor, John, brought his trailer, and which saved me because the table was not really going to fit in my truck. It was going to be hanging out over the side even, and it was so heavy. I just didn't know how that was going to go. The trailer was a lifesaver. And the people that showed up were lifesavers. It was just fantastic. And the table got delivered. It looks great. I took some photos, and hopefully today or tomorrow, I have a photo book. It's a new thing that I'm trying. And it's basically a build book where I'm taking photos of the whole build process from, rough lumber to glue up to routering out for legs, putting everything together and delivering and making a small coffee table book out of that and giving that to the customer as their build book. I think that is going to push my service level over the top. instead of 5 out of 5 stars, maybe 5.5, 6 out of 5 stars. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, that table is delivered. I'm on to a 10-foot long ash table with breadboard ends on trestle legs that I had to make with a 6-foot stretcher in between them. And I'm hoping to finish that table today. I'm taking time out right now to record this podcast and get it out there, but it is so close. So I just need a little more sanding on everything and put it all together, make sure it all fits together. I've got to make those little pins to hold the stretcher. I've got the through tenons that go through the trestle legs. I've got to make the pins for that. I have a couple ideas for that. Everything's ash and it's getting stained, so it's darker than ash. It's kind of a golden oak color. But I'm thinking about making the pins out of some black walnut that I've got laying around just for a little contrast, a little pop. So I'm going to try that out later today. Also in the shop, I've got some whales that are cutting boards. I've been trying to get those made. A friend of mine is giving them away as gifts, and I feel bad. I feel like I've had these things in my shop for 2.5 months. And they're ready to go. I just need to get them cut out. And honestly, my bandsaw is not tuned the way I want it. So getting it cut out is kind of a pain. So I'm routering it to the template right now. But then I think I'm going to have to go jigsaw, then flush trim, and try and get that done. Right after I get this ash table done, I have a live edge table that I have to get finished for next Saturday. I've already committed to delivering that on the 27th, I believe. Right on the heels of that, I have another live edge table. It's going to be 2 slabs cut down the middle, glued up to make a super wide, super long, 10-foot long live edge table. And I have to have that done in 4 weeks. So no shortage of business for the Solo in the Shop guy. While I was working in the shop yesterday, it's been beastly hot in the Northeast, and I've been sweating all over my work, and it's just been really hard to be productive with the oppressive heat. And one of my neighbors stopped in while I was working, and he's like, "Why don't you get a window air conditioner or 2 and just put those in the garage and at least cool it off some?" And I felt like such an idiot because that had never occurred to me. And of course, that's what I should be doing. So I've got the word out. I'm trying to get a used one from a guy that's selling it locally. I was hoping to get it this morning because I think today is the last really hot day. But hopefully the garage will be a little more pleasant shortly. So that's what's going on in the shop. For the business side of things, I've been doing a few things on the website. For those who know me, I have a pretty long history of web programming, about 35 years. So I manage my own website, and I have, since its inception, had page tracking. So I know when somebody visits the various pages on my site, and I can tell whether it's a bot and whether it came from Google or Facebook or whatever. And it occurred to me in the last 2 weeks that I don't really have much more reporting for myself than just overall page views. Like, I know how many times a real human comes to my website, and I know how many times different bots and how many of the real humans came from different sources. So I realized that what I needed was a dashboard that showed me overall human visits in real time, how many are coming from different sources, and how many are going to pages that I really care about. For example, the thank you page when somebody places an order. That's my real confirmation that somebody has sent me some business. So I want to know when that happens. I also have a subscription sign up page. So when somebody gives me their email address to either get my furniture guide or to sign up for the newsletter, which I'm thinking about getting rid of for various reasons, those are stats that I want to be able to see. So late one night, I just sat down, cranked out some queries, put together a page, and now I have gone so far as to mount an iPad in the garage that is on my dashboard page so that I can watch for website traffic and leads and things like that. I've been listening to Zach Vaught's podcast, which is the Handmade Business Secrets podcast. I highly recommend it. And some ideas that I have gotten from Zach have been to publish some cosmetic standards. Because I make handmade tables, there are things about a handmade table that will be different than a factory made or imported or veneered table. And it would be good to be explicit about those. So I'm looking to, we'll say, be inspired by. Steal might be a closer word, but I'm looking to get inspired by Zach's cosmetic standards and apply those to my website and get those so that when people are shopping and placing orders, that they know what to expect. Also on Zach's furniture business page, there are a lot of videos. He's got a lot of things like, what to expect, how ordering things work, what to look for as far as how big a table should be, and what the overall experience is going to be. And that adds a certain amount of humanness, personal connection that I think is valuable and would do nothing but help. The other thing that I'm trying to do is implement my own e-commerce site. I used Shopify for a while and made 0 sales, but I did get referrals. Like people would sign up and say, yeah, this is nice, but I want something else. So I got a few customers that way, but I do think that the model of showing my work and just having a form on the page that says, hey, do you want something like this? Let's start a conversation. Contact me. I don't think that's a great way to get lots of sales. And I really want to focus on increasing the leads and how many people are reaching out to me. So to that end, I'm trying to create something that looks a lot more like a regular furniture shopping experience for online customers. Having some difficulty with the checkout process. I use Clover for credit cards right now, and I've got to call into them to try and get some technical help. But as far as, showing products, adding things to the cart, changing quantities, adding and removing, putting things on sale, letting customers customize the length of a table, that kind of stuff is all working. I'm really at the point where I need the checkout process to happen. There's no rush. I haven't had it for a year, so I'm hoping to get that in the next month or so. So stay tuned for updates on that. And the last thing is, I don't know if anybody is aware of Business Networking International, or BNI. It is basically a business-to-business referral linking social group, and there are chapters. I think of it as Alcoholics Anonymous for business networking. I haven't done it yet, but I am going there to a chapter meeting tomorrow morning to find out what it's all about. I would love to get more leads from business partners, and I would love to refer people. If somebody's buying furniture, there's lots of things that they need. They may need flooring, they may need rugs, they may need window treatments, they may need paint, plaster, plumbing, electrical, all of that stuff. So if I can help other businesses in that way, based on customers that I know that are building and moving and things like that, rehabbing a house, I would love to do that for people. So I feel like there's an opportunity here. I'm going to check it out, and then I'll let you know how that goes. That's all I have for today's short episode. I'm wishing you all a fantastic week. Be productive. I'm going to get back into the shop as soon as I edit this and put it out there. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, feel free to reach out to me at SoloInTheShop@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you got value from it and would like to help the show grow, I'd appreciate a review wherever you listen. Be sure to check the show notes for links to my socials or any extra stuff we discussed today. Until next time, stay safe in your shop, and we'll talk again soon.